Let's take a look at the gold. This is the micro gold chart. And we're seeing that the price went down, got up. Then there's some buyers over here. And we're seeing that it created a imbalances over here. Then we created another high over here. And with creating this high, we actually managed to make a buyer's zone. This is imbalance zone. So when the price, after it moves with this order 40 in delta, we move it even higher, then we return to test this buyer's zone. The price left to test are those buyers still there or not. So that's why we came back, and this buyer's zone, imbalance buyer zone, become a spring for us to go significantly higher and create a higher high to compare with the previous high. The price is moving up again. This indicates to us that there is a momentum. There is a price desire to go higher. It created another buyer zone here and another buyer zone over here. So the price went higher, created a higher high. Now we came back, not landed on this zone yet because these people were here, and there's a delta 73 delta, buyer delta, 72 buyer delta, supporting the momentum to go higher. So what is the best place to enter into long? As obviously, number one, like over here, we're seeing that there's a buyers at the very top. So the price came back and unlocked those trapped buyers. The same may happens with these buyers at the very top. The best position for us to enter, to wait when the price gonna pull back. Now, what I see that price pulling back in such a fast fashion over here in a one candle, that is not really safe for us. So let's wait if the price will come back, return, and it gives us a better position for entries. So price came down, then hesitated. We're seeing the short candle. Boom, we're going up. So there's a lot of desire for the price to go higher. What's going on the gold with the pigtail pattern right over here? Let's take a look. So we're going down. Fantastic. I like that. So it's giving us a position. So first time we landed over here, and now if we're going to go lower than the previous local low and we'll find support somewhere in this area, that'd be a better position for me to enter. Now I see that there's an absorption happens in this very candle. Let's see. This is the zone, the buyer zone, and see the price reaction, how price reacted on that very zone. If it will be enough to support, I think yes. And so I'm going into a long. Yes.
Order submitted.
Let's hide my stop. And what I'm expecting is that the price is going to go higher than previous high. So if I want to be conservative, I can exit over here. Okay, let's assess the current situation. So this buyer zone become a resistance for us. So the buyer is still there. They reactivated the price to go higher.
Filled.
Here we go. I'll just get a break even. Okay, now it's better for me to wait until the price demonstrate what directions you want to go out of this particular range, this local range. Will it retest this buyer zone, or that's not the intent? We'll see it in a second. Yes, here we go. Now let's take a look at the pigtail. Yes, I think that's a good position to enter.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Here we go. Let me hide my stop. Now what I see on the left side, if we're going to pass this delta, negative delta 63, if we're going to pass this, then we're definitely going to move higher. So my first exit, actually, I can put it right before this delta. If the price will not able to overcome this negative 63 delta, the large order over here, then at least I'm going to get close my one contract. Let me move my stop a little bit. So here we go. The price stuck into this buyer zone second time. Of course, on the second time, this buyer zone may lose its strength. Let's wait. We need to always wait for how the candle will finish. So that was absorption. At the bottom of this candle, I see the negative 1023 delta absorbed. It'd be nice to see the positive. Right now I'm seeing that there's some buyers at the top of this candle. Let's take a look. So while the price is going down, the volume is going down over here, and the level 2 sellers going lower, smaller and smaller. Now there's an increase in delta 2. Here we go. The first stop is felt. And then we're seeing the increase in negative delta 2, level 2, and delta 1. That's why the candle actually went down. But then delta 1 is about 0. And we're seeing some negative in delta 2. But this candle is really small. This candle is usually tension. And usually after the short candle, the price releases its energy. That's what happens over here. I can make my conclusion that after this short candle bar, price released its energy on the way up, and there is some buyers sitting right here at the very top of this candle. Do I have a chance to close in profit over here? Yes. Even if the price will go a little bit, in a negative zone, I think I will have a chance to be in profit. Let's take a look. This is sellers sitting right there. Less sellers over here. Less sellers over here. No sellers over here. 0101 sellers over here. So the sellers are fading away. Sellers are losing their strength. Now we're actually gaining on the delta 2, on the level 2 activities. Passive orders right here are green, and the delta 1 is green. So this is 2 candles in the same color or same direction. I can consider this as a nice pullback and return to the at least previous high. But with this energy, yes, we definitely can close somewhere nearby in this vicinity, although there was absorption of the buyers right over here. And these two, 200 and 100, those market makers, they are always jumping around. They are not really seriously protecting this level. If I want to be a conservative and get into a profit, then I probably can exit because of the heat map. I can exit right over here and be in profit, and then add another contract. Let's see how it's going to work for me.
Target filled.
Here we go. Now you see the candles are moving up, although it's a really short candles. I don't like the length of these candles. The short candles not really encouraging for the price to have impulse on the way up. So let's see if I'm gonna get another position to enter, and if the price will demonstrate its own direction where the price wanted to go. There's some buyers over here. Okay, buyers continue. I see the buyers on level 2, buyers on level 1. Let's wait until this candle closed. There's a red. Give a little bit of time, because these sellers activated over here, but there's some buyers still sitting at the very top, buyers at the very top. So there's a desire to go higher? I think so. The POC is moving from low, high, same, higher, lower, same level. So I see the price is kind of like a hesitated. If I just take a look in my chart, that movement, it's not very energetically moving up. So I need to be careful, because at any point of time now, if I'm not going to make higher high to compare with the previous one, then the price is going to reverse in the opposite direction. And I need to be flexible enough to consider both directions. Now, I see that the price is actually trying to match the previous 2 highs over here. So this high, and then if price is going to match this previous high, that means I can put my order to go jump the gun from this position. If that is going to be case, that means it's going to be a really violent breakthrough. If I think that I'm correct, then I'm gonna go into a long right
Order
now.
submitted.
Okay, so I'm
Order filled.
going in a long
Target filled.
in the hope that the price gonna go significantly higher. And wow, there's a lot of liquidity sitting right here. And before that liquidity, what is this, 33 and what, 28?
Stop filled.
although it is kind of significant, but it's not really too much. So my break even being closed, this is a red candle. Before we crossing these two tops, the price usually hesitate over here and give a better chance to enter into the long. Let's see if price gonna give me a better chance, because you see, this is a short candles. These short candles are really dangerous. In the what sense? In the sense that they know that they're trying to press before this plateau. Okay, if that is a plateau or is this is a resistance zone right over here, so the short candles can eat out the resistance easily. If the price strikes from the distance to this resistance, so the price will bounce, but not right now. So right now, I see that there's some kind of like a channel is built where right here, this is the channel. So if the price is gonna go and break this channel, which obviously it's breaking right now, I don't know how deep it's gonna break, but the deeper it's gonna break, the better for me. Even though if the price decide to check out this buyer's zone right over here, I'll be absolutely thrilled to enter into the long from this position or that position. So the lower the price is gonna go, the better position it will produce for me, unless the price gonna just like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to break through, which nobody knows because it's absolutely hard to predict the price. What we can see that there's a bunch of buyers in this candle. Not that crazy like over here, but this is the buyers like 10, 20, 30, 35, 40 stack over here, and the price is gonna try to unlock them from the trap. So this is the trap for buyers. Let's see, are we gonna do it now? Nice. You see, if I enter it somewhere like over here, that'd be a jumping the gun. But take a look at the pigtail pattern. This pigtail pattern telling me, be careful, not right now. Be careful. So nice move down. Whoa, we kind of matched the previous low over here, local low. We'll see what's gonna happen. Sellers sitting right here, sellers sitting right here, sellers over here. Nice. So in this situation, it's totally justifiable that before crossing this top, which is kind of like a third equal top to the left, then we're gonna recoup and gain some accumulation over here and release the sellers. So the sellers, if they released over here, they're not gonna become an obstacle to move above this price. That's what price is doing. Price is smart. The price is smart. So we need to release the sellers before we're gonna go up. So the seller is not gonna be a problem right over here. So we need to release the sellers so that now that's what the price is doing, releasing the sellers. We'll see. Let's take a look at the pigtail pattern. We're kind of going on a side right now. I don't see the clear sign to enter right now. It's not clear. Let's wait. We always can wait. Top, lower top, locally, of course. Low, low, low. 3 equal lows, local lows. This is on a 30 seconds time frame. So 1, 2, 3. If we're gonna match here a fourth time, that means we're gonna probably go lower up to this. What? This is on MBO Dome. There is a 23 contract, 23 volumes, 9 contracts. So this is the market maker sitting over here. And this is a market maker, 100 and 100, that's a market maker. Although it's sitting for a while there now, because somebody put their 5 above or left. So, okay, see, the market maker is kind of like a jumping up and down. So there's a chance for the price to go lower. It's not always happens that the market maker kind of like a dancing like that, but that gives me a cue, be careful. The price may swing down. So now this is range that is very uncertain range. I don't see too many buyers right now on this footprint. Do I see sellers being absorbed in this candle? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares of absorption. Yeah, that is the absorption. But how significant is that absorption? Not too significant. Not too much. So the delta, negative delta is 33 right over here. 33 being absorbed. And now we move down again, move up again, move it a little bit higher, 29 in delta over here. There's a chance for us to go even higher. There's some buyers now, 17, 6, 5. I'm not very enthusiastic right now because the Delta 2 is red, Delta 1 is red. So Delta 2 is red on the previous candle. That's why we're seeing the divergence. You see this bubble? That is the divergence, delta divergence, delta 1. You see the delta 1 is green, but the candle is red. The price is not really energetically moving up. So do we lose the steam to go higher? I think that not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not too many buyers so far over here. There are some sellers, yeah. Let's see what's gonna happen with this candle because there's a sellers on the level 2 on a passive level present in this very candle. So we have to wait. This is uncertainty. We can't make a decision right now to enter into the long. It's too early. It's the cofactors are not really certain. So we're seeing the support from the buyers right over here. There's a 27, volume 12. Okay, there's some buyers show up. Yeah, delta, positive delta is 48, about 40 right now. There's some buyers stuck over here. Yeah, the buyers showing up. Okay, now I see the two deltas in green, and this one is, okay, here we go. I think that I can go into the long position, although I need to be careful right now because what? The peak tail pattern is, I'm not confident. That was a really good move, green move, and it still can be a great looking candle like this, buyers, 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 but I'm a little bit hesitant. I'm not confident. We'll see what's going to happen right now. If we're going to get pushed down, then if we're going to push down, I'm going to enter into the long position. So there's a peak tail is red candle, red candle. Let me see the development. These two red candles, what's going to happen with them? Okay, green. Okay.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Here we go. That was too soon and too quick.
Order submitted. Order filled. Stop filled.
Okay, let's do it again. Okay, peak tail is red, red. Okay, green. Okay, now they're fighting right now. They're really fighting. Let's wait. Let's wait. And let's see. So this stop, this stop, this stop, and now we break through a little bit, but then we're being absorbed. This absorption is not very strong, but it's present. So I still have a 3 contract in play. What I'm going to do with these 3 contracts, I'm going to exit where? I'm going to exit probably my first one over here.
Order submitted.
Yeah, this is very safe. Take profit. The next one is over here because of the liquidity, 32. This 26, 20, 31. What is right now? 26. Yes, I see on IMBO down 26 in volume, 13 contracts. If they're going to move out some of these contracts, then I'm going to move my profit, take profit higher. Here we go. Okay, so this is more interesting. Level 27 again. This is 108. This is a market maker. He can easily jump out of the way. So now what is going on right now? We're seeing that there is tension is built up, and this tension is, this is a very short candle, right? That was a short candle. This is absorption. Nice. I like that absorption. From the bottom, the price supported by level 2 buyers. So, and now it's probably going to go even higher. So it's good for me to have this exit in this distance. So I'm expecting that the price going to strike my take profit. Yeah, a little bit of drawdown because of the previous range over here. I don't mind completely. I don't mind. I can actually add more into, here we go. Let's wait a little bit. Yes, I know I'm in a negative zone right now, but I'm totally don't mind because that was about the same situation over here. It is about the same situation over here. So my expectation is, here we go. You see, fantastic. That is my expectation. Definitely we're going to close me in profit. You see there's a higher volatility.
Order filled. Stop filled.
Here we go. Here we go.
Order filled.
Okay. Nice absorption. And I close myself in profit. With this absorption, yes, we can have a chance to go lower or finish or close some of these insufficiencies over here, which what we're doing right now. What bothers me is the volatility is get higher. That shows me this volatility that the price intended to continue the same direction. Is that giving me a better position into the entrance? I think so. Let me see the peak tail patterns. I think I'm in a good position to go even higher. The price is so energetic. Let's see if I can get a better position. We passed this absorption, right? Sellers over here. We've been absorbed from the bottom of the candle over here. Now the fight is in this area. Let's see what's going to happen on the peak tail, this lower low and equal low actually. And we'll see if the price is going to reverse on the way up. I can go into the buyer mode again.
Order filled.
Here we go. Wow, that was so fast. Okay, the same situation. We're going to go much higher. My guess is that this is where the price is going to. Oh, there's an even better chance, like over here, 7, not too much. This is 37. So this is the liquidity that price is interested to. And I'm going to do my exit. There's some liquidity sitting here that the price can get some reaction over here. That initial reaction will be here for sure. And then the next one over there. So what's going on with my previous two tops? We totally get it. And we're building a new high. We're building a new high. Yeah, we're going to build new high.
Order submitted.
So let's wait a little bit. Delta 2, Delta 1 is quite a zero over here. And then we start taking over. Okay, 0, 0, about like no deltas. We'll see what delta gonna decide, what the buyer is gonna decide. This is a red absorption, nice. So the seller is being absorbed over here. That was equal like almost doji over here. So the sellers were being absorbed over here. So the price don't let the sellers move lower. Although we made a little bit lower, but then immediately spring up to a higher position. Now let's wait a little bit. I really enjoy that this is like a shorter candles. We'll see if that will predict the momentum in a one or another direction. Let's wait right now. There's so much sellers on the level 2 right over here. They're selling. I think there's a fight going on. There's a fight. So we'll see who's gonna win that fight. Okay, let's take a look at the peak tail pattern over here. Oh, this is really good. This is really good position for us to enter. I totally love that. We're being absorbed over here. It is the better chance for me enter into a buying.
Order submitted. Order filled. Target filled.
I need to give a room for my stop loss. I expect my take profit being higher because this is release of the sellers and now we're just gonna go and zoom up. Is that the case? Yeah, that can be a case. 26, 26, not too much. 41. Oh, okay. So so this is really where the price is gonna get reaction. But before we're gonna get reaction, I think that I'm gonna get my profit
Stop filled.
closed. Oh, my stop gain being filled. Oh. Where are we moving? Are we moving down? Okay. So what does it mean for me? Nice to have a stops. Number one. Second, we'll see the price is giving me another chance to buy. Not yet. Too early. Not yet. Too early. How do I know it? Because this absorption, it was what, 37, about 30 contracts or volume, and we hit this with selling. Now, are we overcoming it? Yes. We're gonna get higher. See over here, that means we overcome it. And
Order submitted.
it gives me a chance
Order
to go
filled.
again, to have my long position again. Here we go. Oh, my stops are very close to the price. There's some volatility going on. Yeah, I need to be careful with my stops. Oh, where do I want to hide my stops? Definitely behind this, below this bubble and below this negative 61 delta block. You see the negative 61 delta block? Negative 104, 104 block. We overcome it with this POC. Yeah. So I think that we're going to go and recoup the price. Here we go. Fantastic. Should I add another contracts? I think that I can, but I'm going to stay in my limits. Let's wait a little bit. I see buyers in this candle. Clearly, a buyers. Sellers at 00000 at the very top. So there's a no fight over here. There's a buyers, and that's why when new candle show up, that means we have got the buyer's zone over here. Okay, I'm looking at the POs, looking at the pigtail. Here we go.
Order filled.
Nice. Okay. Now I need to give a room, close more profit. It's not that I'm being greedy. The lower we went up, the higher we're gonna go. I mean, the longer the distance for the profit will be easier being covered by the price. So I need to give the price chance to cover all of that space. And where do I think to get out of all of these contracts altogether? Somewhere like in this vicinity, in this price. So what it is, 30, about the 30 contracts, 30 volume, 19 contracts right here, 13 contracts and 30 in volume right over here. That may be a better place for me to exit somewhere like here. So a little bit more greedy. I'm going to close my 4 contracts over here and 1 over here. Okay, let's see what the price is going to do. Let's take a look at the deltas. We're not very active yet, The activity was over here, the higher volume going lower, and it's like low on the delta 1, on the delta 2. It was kind of like very low over here. Now we start fighting here. That means the price is going to release its energy. The buyer's zone over here, 2 of them. The buyers stuck over here as well. So there's a lot of chances that these buyers will move the price higher. We'll see. So regarding the exhaustion on the seller side, let's take a look. 1, 4, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's some sellers. Delta block is 11, but the very 1 at the end, or again over here, 1 on the seller side is 0, 2, 0, 1. That's not too much. So the sellers give up over here. Aggressive sellers. Let's see that the delta 2 is actually green over here. That means that it's taking over in this candle. So sellers give up, buyers taking over. Now let's see what's gonna happen next. Negative 43 delta in this delta block. Will we be able to overcome it? We're gonna see it by the POC. If the POC gonna higher, here we go. The POC is higher than these 2 previous POCs. Nice. And we're moving strongly to close all of my contracts, which I'm gonna totally enjoy it. Let's see. Let's give a time for the price to express itself. Let's wait. Okay, there's a buyers at this very candle stuck over here, and the price definitely gonna close for my contracts over here, my 4 contracts. That's for sure. The price is very close. I cannot predict when, but it will be closed. So let's take a look. The buyers level 2 active here, not too active over here. Where you are, guys? Oh, the sellers taking over a little bit on the level 2. So the buyers on the level 1, not too much. And now if the price is gonna land it on this zone, this buyer zone. Oh, okay. We even pierced this zone, so it's not gonna resist too much. Let's give it time. Give it time. You see the price was closing to my take profit over here, very close, right? Almost grab it. But then I said that I don't know when it's going to close it. But these buyers sitting over here, waiting until the price will come back and open them, unlock them from the trap. That's probably going to happen now. Should I add more contracts right now? Yeah, I can. I can add more contracts because the pigtail pattern is telling me, yes, I can do it. Very nice pigtail patterns right over there. 1, 2, 3. I enjoy them totally. This is a really good situation to enter into the long position again. I see buyers taking over here. You see the buyers taking over in this footprint. And they created the 2 zones of the buyer zones over here, 1 and 2. As I said, I don't know when but this take profit will be closed. So this is level 2 delta. They're pushing down. They're pushing this price down along with the aggressive delta on aggressive side of the order flow. Both of them pushing down, red and red. Does that mean should I wait? Yeah, I can wait because definitely this is the block over here, and we're probably gonna feel the resistance some soon in this area. Something of that sort. Yes, the seller is not giving up completely, and the buyer is not taking over yet. So we're gonna wait. Who's gonna take over? Green, 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 delta 2, at least these two candles, two green deltas, red, green. These two in green, in synchronized with this candle, moving the price higher. We'll see if they're gonna do it again. Yes.
Target filled.
Here we go. That's exactly what they're doing.
Target filled.
Okay.
Order filled.
I close all my orders and I'm in positive 357 right now. And let's take a look. Let's take a look. So there was absorption right here for the buyers being absorbed. But the buyers have a lot of energy to move the price like this one. And that actually happens about the same price level. Okay, here we go. This is all my trades, negative and positive, my losses and my gains, all of that right here on this very screen. So I can make analysis of all my trades. That's what the beauty of this indicator that shows all my trades. You see my loss over here and my another loss over here at the very bottom, by the way. So, but in total, I am what, 357 on the micro. Nice. So what I can say that number one, what I like about this chart, that the liquidity, the heat map that I have here is at a great help for me to establish my exits from the trades. And the MBO is helping me a lot to exit in the right spot on the price. Because imagine if I decide to exit, yeah, so I still be right if I exit over here, but to wait a drawdown like that is not very pleasant. So this is giving me a better entrance again if I want to enter into a position. If my commitment is going long, then my mindset is only for going into the long. And this is really good candle to long from here to here. Price gonna be able to go at least into what? Into over here. Okay, somewhere like over here and get higher, then we're gonna move up. If price is not able to overcome this 105 delta block, I see 105 delta block, this block in particular, then the price is too weak. And that's what's going on. There's some buyers sitting right here in this candle. There's some buyers sitting right there. So the price will probably try to unlock them, but we need to see a good rotation over here. In a situation like that, it's better to give a time for the price development and being certain in a direction, in what direction price wanted to go. We can expand our chart over here and take a look. Whoa, that was a really nice slide. And where we are right now, we at the previous two lows over here. There's a chance that we're gonna find a resistance here. Yes, there is a chance, but if we not find the resistance, then we have a long way to fall. After this accumulation, that was release of accumulation, I think that we can find a resistance over here and then go higher for another turn of accumulation. So this is the absorption at the very bottom of the candle, which shows the sign that we have a chance to go higher. Oh man, this is it. The price is showing up. The price showing its own commitment. The price gonna go higher in my estimation right now. You see the price like went, and that's what price gonna. So you see, we actually unlocked those trapped buyers. if we unlock the trap buyers, that means we fulfill its objective. So with this candle, the price fulfilled objective of unlocking the trap buyers sitting right here. It means we can go both directions. We can go lower, we can go higher. That's it. So right now, unless we're going to be higher than previous high, this one, and or lower than this one, it's not a good idea to enter into any direction. Here we go. We are moving lower. And why the price returned that fast back? Because it's fulfilled its mission. Most traders don't have this concept that there's an objective for the price. Price want to do certain things, and that's what actually happens. Now the price is going lower. Let's change the trades into from the points to the dollar signs, and you can see all of this trades in a dollar sign, which is really nice and pleasant for my heart to see the dollar signs when I've closed. You see, I re-enter here, re-enter over here. One of the interesting lessons is on this very chart, when the price going in an impulse like that, it's not always can return back to the previous top. So it can go on a half and then continue the same impulse direction like it started over here. So this long candle is really dangerous candle. The short candles over here, the shorter the candles, the better. Like look at this very shorty, almost like a doji. Which one? This candle, you see the body is very small, I'm like 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 to 4 ticks over here. Very short body, candle body. Okay, bar is very short. That is a signal for struggle, the pressure on the both sides. Now, we're seeing that right now, there's a buyers showing up again. Buyers show up at this very top of the candle. The buyers starting to show up over here. Nice. So absorption happens here. Clearly absorption. Although it's not really like too much, but it is funny that it is 21 absorption and 21 delta, 21 delta 21. Let's take a look what's going to happen, because usually when the price is reversing, it's giving a chance like 2 or 3 times to before it's actually reverse. It's building intermediate liquidity, let's say, or it is doing it with like more than one wave, or I call it attempts. Reverse attempt 1, reverse attempt what 2, usually third or a fourth is more productive if it's going on a return, and it's really danger to expect return like immediately. If this return is covered only half of that candle, of this extension candle, then it's gonna usually hesitate to complete it right away. It should cover it up to this price level right away, but it did not, so we went down. So now, first attempt, second attempt, third attempt. Okay, now we get lower, and let's take a look at the POC. POC is low, higher, low, lower, higher, equal like this one, equal like that one. Fantastic. So we kind of like a settling in this area as a resistance, higher, 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 higher. Okay, so this is lower, but now I can expect that we are reversing. Although I need to look at this pigtails, and to say that I'm 100% confident is too early. Okay, so are we gonna go lower than this plateau over here, like 1, 2, 3 POC sitting on these candles? We're gonna get support, or we're gonna go through. If we're gonna go lower than this bubble, that means we're gonna go lower. If we find a like resistance over here, that means we're gonna go higher. Let's see what's the POC from here to here into this area. So the 3 of them sitting right here, and this bubble sitting right here. So this is a resistance. So the price came down, tested one time, tested second time, tested third time, and now we're springing up. Definitely we are going on a mission higher. And while I was talking, the price reversed it really well. So if the price is going to give me another chance somewhere like, okay, let's say that this is a Wyckoff reversal. This is actually like perfect Wyckoff reversal, by the way. Now, if the price is going to give me a chance from here, from about that price to enter into the long, I will go long. That this price position is somewhere like over here is good place to enter if the price is going to give me that chance. It's not always the price doing something like that, going lower to give me a chance. But there's the extension candle over here. Why is that here? Should I give a chance for the price to get lower? Okay, absorption, nice. We'll see. We will see. You see this short candle? That's where the price get absorbed. Very short body of this candle. Okay, price being absorbed. If we're gonna get back somewhere like in this, and let's take a closer look. There's a 28 in volume sitting right there, still waiting like me. Hey, price, slide it down. We'll see. If the price is gonna slide down, definitely it's a good chance for me, and I need to give the price a time. Although at the same time, let's take a look. You see, this is the top, this is the lower top, this is the lower top. Are we on a mission to go down? If I take a look at this construction, at this price construction, I don't think that we're on a mission to go lower. I think that we have a chance to go higher. So all I needed is the better chance for me to enter. Not yet, not yet. So let's take a look at this liquidity over here. 27, nice. 27. So if the price is gonna get reaction in this heat map over here, I'll be absolutely thrilled to get into the long. You see there's a 30 volumes, 12 contracts, 30 and 12, 30 in volume, sitting right here, waiting to buy. And I should do the same. I'm waiting to buy right over here along with the MBO. Somebody passive buyer sitting right here. Price have a chance to revisit this position. Let's give it time for the price. I'm not paranoid yet. I'm not paranoid. I'm not gonna chase right now. It's too soon. You see, by the way, this is a nice reversal. Nice reversal. Okay, if price gonna give me a chance, we already being here. 27, still there. 16, still there right now. It was 27 now. It is about 19. Too early to buy. Let's take a look at the pigtail. Okay, pigtail 1 is green. Nice. Okay, I think we're moving up. Should we? So be careful. Red, red, red on the delta 2. Delta 1 is green.
Order submitted.
Okay, let's wait. If the price is gonna grab my order, 1 is activated.
Order canceled.
Okay, too soon. I mean, I like just closed and then break even. Okay, kind of funny situation right now. Let's wait. Okay, here we go.
Order submitted.
You see
Order
the
submitted.
price just moving and moving.
Order canceled.
Price just moving and moving. Yeah, I close another 5 over here, but you see that the price is moving too fast. Okay, let's give a break and wait if the price will retest this absorption. You see what happens right over here, that the level 2 was buying right here. Level 2 was buying, and that's why we've got this bubble. This is our aggressive sellers, but this aggressive sellers because the passive buyers acted right over here. Let's see if the price is gonna come and retest this area. And by reaction on this area, we will know how we're gonna go higher or lower. You see, because we're very close to the previous high. So this is a routine. Okay, delta 2 is red, higher red. I mean, yeah, more red. Delta 1 is red, teeny, but then there's a more volume. Although there was a high volume over here, that was a struggle. And then we have the higher delta, less volume. Then the red delta 1, we'll see if the delta 2 will end up with the sellers. Okay, now we went lower than this bubble. That means we're waiting right now for these buyers get reactivated. What you guys were doing over here, we need you to repeat it over right now over here again. So this is the buyer zone, another buyer zone over here. We can dive over here, or we can find a support here. We'll see who's going to show up, these people or these people. But these people, these buyers, didn't show up. That is strange yet. But we're going to see the reaction, and we're going to act by reaction.
Order submitted.
Okay. Okay, that's my break even right there.
Target filled.
Here we go.
Order filled.
It almost closed me into a profit. Really close. So I'm going to hide my stops right below this 28, 11, and what's now 29. So 29 contracts sitting right there. I'm going to hide it behind this 29 contracts as a support. Okay, the price is moving.
Target filled.
Okay, that was very fast. So here we go. Another a few bucks closed in profit. Should I continue, or this is good enough for me for today? Let's take a look. Okay, I think the price is gonna make another move higher. Although I'm saying this is a high, lower, high, lower high over here, unless it's finalized like that. Something of that sort. If we're gonna break this line, we're moving upper. Not so far. Okay, this can be a reversal, can be. That means I think that if you trade gold, you can make $4,000 with a micro gold. It is $400, 419. And you see all of my trades right on this very screen. The point over here is this is a routine, not very exciting routine today, because you simply have to sit and wait the situation. The most important in this routine to protect yourself out of jumping the gun too early. That means sometimes we need to sit and wait, just to sit and wait. You see, like, this order was closed very fast right over here. This order was closed right over here. This order closed after it's dived a little bit over here and then closed right over here. So there's some dips, yes. We also can see that the buyer zone over here is playing the role, and this is a breakthrough candle. It's not the fair value gap. You can say that there's some gap right over here because there's like a 0, 0, 0, 0 on both ends, buyers and sellers equal to 1 or to 0. But then there is a buyer sitting right here that created is imbalance zone, and the imbalance zone being reactive, boom, it's protected the price, and the price reacted on opposite direction. One time, second time, now on the third time, probably we're going to go, and these people will no longer activate themselves as a buyers again. Now, usually like sometimes like one or second time, the price may produce reactions, although we never can predict it. Like right now, we're seeing the two rails, red rail and the green rail. This is nice. That means the price is going to go, probably the same energy will be added on the way up. Should I enter into a long? Yeah, I probably should. Should I say to myself, I have enough for today, for the session? Yeah, that's good enough as well. My point is, okay, when we're seeing this order is what, 32 on the heat map sitting there for a long time. And let's take a look. They're still present in meantime on the MBO. Yes, 36 in volume, 42 actually now. 42 over here, you see 32, 42. Nice. So the price gonna get attracted to this liquidity, and at the same time we're gonna see the price reaction. So now I think this is the goal, next goal for the price to revisit or visit. First time, no, it's a second time today. That's what the heat map is showing to us. This is the secondary heat map I put on top of my other heat map. So there's a two heat maps. There's a one heat map with the pass dome and another heat map with this heat map. Okay. So there's a two heat maps, and that heat map, the blue one, is from the mini gold and the red one is from the micro. So I'm running two data sets on this chart. I'm running 2 heat maps, not to confuse you. This is just my preference. This is just the way I do it. You see there's a bubbles like pinky and red. You see this red, and that's not really red. It's kind of like a more pinkish red. That means these bubbles from 2 different data sets, one from micro gold, another from mini gold. And people ask me, why do you run on a micro? Like right now, this is the micro gold, right? At the same time, I'm running the mini data from mini gold on the same chart, except the MBO DOM. Why? Because I don't want to lose my view what's happening on both charts, on mini and micro. That's the way I trade. That's the way I like it. So we're going to cross this line. We're going to go higher. The target is right here. The point I'm making that I'm not missing this heat map liquidity, even it is on another chart. I combine these 2 heat maps together and I'm seeing a complete picture on the same chart. Instead of having 2 monitors and 2 different charts, I have it on the same. This is my little trick. You see the equal top, equal top, equal top. We're going to go higher. Boom, boom, baga, boom. We're probably going to go even higher than this liquidity sitting over here. We probably on a mission to go at least, okay, over here. So that means this price line. This is my way. I assess this chart. I do analysis. And the main points how I analyze this chart is I do it by analyzing the volume. This is the total volume. When I see the volume is going lower, that means there is somebody losing their positions. Like over here, seller is going lower, seller is going lower, but the volume is spiking over here. But then on the next candle, it's like less volume. So less volume, especially on this very teeny beeny, almost like a doji candle. That is a really awesome candle that gives me a hope for reversal or idea for the reversal from this candle. So now, boom, we released over here. Although I don't see too many buyers on these candles, I do see them over here. So we came back to unlock these buyers, which you see with 876 over here. We came back, but it took us a time to dive down, and then we came back to unlock these buyers. Now we're seeing buyers right there, not significant, but we're seeing them right there. And that's a chance that we still intended to go higher. Now, even though I do see this liquidity, I don't think that that will be a strong resistance. Maybe the price will take it from the second or third attempt, but the price probably going to go higher than this liquidity. So this liquidity is, for me, is really good. That's how I position my take profits before the liquidity, maybe 2 ticks to be safe. Sometimes 1 tick, sometimes right at the liquidity line over here, but to have a 2 ticks, it's pretty safe. Now then, so what I'm looking for the volume. You see, when the volume is lower, that means there's a reversal probably happening. Then I'm taking a look at the delta 2 and delta 1. See, behind these transparent candles, there's a delta 1 bid and ask. And I'm waiting for when this bid and ask over here, delta, will be aligned with a delta 2. That means we are moving stronger. And that gives me a idea that with this strong move over here, not this one. This candle was moved like easily. But this one, where the level 2 activated, level 1 activated in synchronization with each other. This is what I like. So I really like this candle. That's why we're moving over here, because these guys can be reactivated again. So that's how we're seeing this candle. See the patterns of the level 2. Are we going lower? Are we going lower with the delta 1? Or are we going higher? How we change the colors, the patterns in colors. That kind of influence factors I'm looking for. And I'm looking for the zones, buyers and seller zones. Like this is the buyer zone. This is the buyer zones, the buyer sitting in the trap. I'm looking for this POC, how the POC is doing, the pattern on the POC. Let's say this is how the POC is traveling. Okay. So with the POC, I can see that sometimes the plateau or level of resistance, yeah, I can see that, especially when the POC kind of like not so far from each other and they created this zone like that. And then when I see that the price reacted on this zone, retested this zone, get reaction, that means I'm encouraged to go in that direction of the retest. If the price is going down, retest this zone, this POC zone, then the price is changing its direction to going lower. So this is my logic behind looking at the patterns of the POC on each candle, and definitely not only on the time candle, but on the peak tail patterns, which is sitting right here. And this is definitely giving me another cofactor to enter or to stay away from the entering into trades. Times the charts can be informative like a newspaper, giving you some information what's going on. The longer the range over here, that means that we probably stuck in this range. We expect this range to go higher or lower, but the longer this range, then that means the longer accumulation during this range. We need to be much more careful and expect the price being more violent or violently escape this long range. If you combine the price action and you combine the volume interaction between level 1 and level 2 on both sides of the order flow, that gives you a better decision to make more informative decisions and seeing the reasoning beyond the price action alone. For example, we're seeing where liquidity is sitting. There's no stop losses over here because some people believe that the price can go and grab the stop losses, but it's already done one time. Now it's trying to do like second time. No, there's no stop losses sitting right above this high or above this high. There's a liquidity sitting right there. That's what is a magnet for the price, this liquidity, and that's what produced a reaction for the price. Okay, so there's other reasons that some people on the price action have no explanation until they can see the real liquidity that sits only, the real liquidity sits only and only and only and only on level 2, which is beyond the candle structures. So the candle structure is important, but the volume structure even more important. Here we go. You see this reaction? We've got absorbed right here. So the price moved higher and boom. Is that a stop losses taking over here? Grabbed over here? Sweeping the stop losses? Not really. Not really. What is the next target for the price over here? We can take a look. 25. Right now there's a 25 in volume, 11 contracts sitting on an MBO dome immediately right now. And they were present over there for a long time, right? Where? Okay, now even more, like 31. Boom, 31. Yeah, this is a serious liquidity for the price to being attracted to and being reacted from. This is really awesome. You see, we've got absorption, actually double absorption for the buyers. Buyers being absorbed over here, so the price moved lower because the buyers lost its strength. We move it lower, and then the buyers still trying to take upper hand because what? This is the objective. Like I told you guys, this is a super important objective. The buyer is stuck in a trap over here, 2030, okay? And the price is gonna try to reach this price level, at least this box, to unlock the trapped buyers. But with the energy like what we're moving right now, we probably have a chance to not just to unlock them, but go even further up. This is my way to read the interaction between level 1 and level 2 order flow. And it's time for me to wrap it up and tell you good luck for tuning your own chart the way that you like, the way that your chart is going to talk to you. And I'm going to help you to adjust every single indicator. Come on our support every Monday. Ask any question you have. If you need any templates, I can pass you my templates, or some other members can give you their templates. or you can download them without even asking anybody. We have a templates for every indicator and for assembly of indicators into a chart. So we have a chart templates, we have a heat map templates, we have a footprint templates, we have all of these kind of templates that I can share with you easily, or you can download them and install. And if you need my help to adjust them, please read the manuals. We have a user guide and we have manuals for each indicators where you can just like learn it on your own. You don't have to ask me any questions, but if you do, please come back every Monday on the Discord on a live session, and I'll be glad to answer you questions. So just every Monday you will see announcements what time. Usually it is Pacific time 4 p.m. and New York time it is 7 p.m. I'm usually doing my live support, and welcome any questions you have. I'll be glad to help you to learn how to tune the charts the way that the charts talks to you. So welcome to the bestorderflow.com. Get any indicators that you can get from us, and welcome to the Mondays live support and ask any questions that you may have.